So this is a letter that Zuckerberg initially wrote when Facebook was about to go public, and he talks about sort of the reimagination of the way people connect with each other. And obviously, Facebook is trying to create, and they're trying to be the evangelists and the biggest supporters and ambassadors of connecting people around the world. And they've done a really good job of that. But for me, I think of something a little bit different. I spend my time in retail with Shopify. I get the privilege of working with 55,000 online stores and businesses every single day. And I can watch them grow from 0 to $10 million companies. I can watch two guys in San Francisco have a really passionate idea about building a moleskin-looking iPad case to the extent they go out and make a prototype, and now they have Dodo case. And I can watch companies realize their dreams that it was never possible in the past because it was too expensive, it was too difficult, and it wasn't accessible to all of us. I want to tell you guys about what I think of the future, particularly as it relates to retail. The reimagination of retail and how technology is going to eat the world. I cannot begin a retail conversation about the future of retail without actually talking about mobile. Mobile is massive. The numbers speak for themselves. The fact that 24% of all transactions on Black Friday happen on a mobile device is absolutely crazy. It's crazy. All of a sudden now, all of us are able to shop in real time, 24/7, without any restrictions whatsoever, and the experience is actually pretty good now. It wasn't always that good. We were typing in our credit cards and our addresses in our mobile phone. It was actually a really shitty experience. It's now getting much, much better. Just to give you some context, now this is the market, right? This is the US market share for Black Friday. Shopify's share was almost the same thing on Black Friday. It was closer to 20%, but it's very, very high. It's more than doubled in the last year. We've gone from 14% to 24%. That's incredible. So mobile is definitely playing a huge role in the future of retail. So that's the first underlying assumption, that mobile is big. But actually, I think what's even more interesting is this. People are talking about how online is taken over and offline is dead. People are talking about showrooming. People are talking about how things are changing for large retailers, how they have to become more entrepreneurial. But I actually have a very different proposition for you guys. I don't think online is going to eat offline. I think the future looks like retail. No e-commerce, just commerce. Whether you buy online and you pick up in store, or you buy in store and you have it shipped to you, it's all just commerce. And this artificial E in front of commerce is going to be dropped. It's not my original thought. eBay has been saying they want to drop the E from e-commerce for many, many years. But I believe that's finally going to happen in the next 18 months. It's going to change drastically. I'm just going to read you a couple. I don't want to get these numbers wrong. They're very important numbers. So I'm actually going to read, and I hope you guys will excuse me for that. But I want to read it to you. So a study just came out 3 weeks ago by Accenture, one of the largest consulting companies in the world. And there's a couple numbers that came out of that report. It's a long white paper. It's like 100 pages. All you need to know is the next couple of numbers, because I think that actually makes the case. Accenture found that 50% of consumers believe that the best thing retailers can do to improve the shopping experience is to better integrate the in-store, online, and mobile shopping channels. No big surprise. But an overwhelming 90% of consumers said it's important for retailers to let them shop for products in the way that they want, no matter what. Also, after purchasing, 81% of consumers said it's important for a retailer to enable them to pick up, arrange for delivery any way they want as well. There's a bit of a trend here with these stats. The numbers are staggering. They're upwards of 80%. But the theme of all these different stats is consumers want choices. We don't want to have to walk into a store. We also don't want to have to use a mobile device. We want to be able to decide whatever is most convenient for us. That is democratizing. The retailer isn't necessarily the one telling us what to do anymore. Now we have an opportunity to tell the retailer what we want. And as a community of consumers, we actually can dictate what those retailers need to do. They need to rethink the way they're doing things. I want to tell you guys about a theory that I have. And it has to do with this sort of convergence of retail. I believe that you need to do 5 or 6 or 7 things in order to build a business today. Okay? Not online, not offline, just generally a business. The first thing I think you need is you need to raise some money. You need money. You need some capital. You might not need a lot. Maybe all you need is $100, but you need some capital. And the democratization of fundraising has happened through Kickstarter and crowdfunding platforms. It's now easy for anyone to do that. The barrier to entry to fundraising has been lowered. 1. 2 is you need a sample. You need a prototype. You need something tangible that you can show people and get some feedback. Well, 3D printing has now made prototyping really easy and really inexpensive. Next, you actually need to be able to sell something somewhere, whether it's online or offline. Someone has to actually go to your store, and make a purchase, give your credit card, and have the money transferred into your bank account. Shopify has done that. We've democratized the shopping experience in that respect. But after the people buy something, you actually need to ship it to them. You actually have to send the physical product to the actual consumer. And that's being democratized too. One of my companies years ago was called Smoofer.com. It was an online t-shirt retailer I started when I was in law school. At the time, I went to fulfillment companies all over the world to ask them to fulfill my orders for me because I had to go to class. And every one of them said the exact same thing. There is a minimum order. We will not ship out your goods unless you're shipping 5,000 goods per week. That was everyone's minimum requirement. Today, there are no more minimums. You can go to Shipwire in San Francisco. You can go to FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. There are no more minimums. You can send them one product, and they will ship it out on your behalf. So even the fulfillment side, after the purchase is made, has been democratized. Barrier to entry is lower. It's less expensive. It's much easier. And then finally, even customer service. You can outsource those things, not necessarily to foreign lands. You can do it in Canada. You can find amazing companies that all they do is run customer service for other people. And guess what? There's no minimums. If you get one phone call a year, they will answer the phone saying, Smoofer.com, how may I help you? So all these different pillars that even 5 years ago were a lot more expensive, a lot more difficult, a lot more challenging, that's all been democratized. It's now easier. The flip side is it's also a lot more competitive. That's where creativity comes in. That's where companies need to figure out a brand, a culture, a following. Because it's easier for everyone to do it, everyone does do it. And that also, as I mentioned, creates some new challenges. So that's the pillars of retail as I see it today. But what I'm most excited about, beyond anything else, beyond technology getting better, beyond things getting cheaper, easier to use, is I'm excited about the rise of the small business. I am a small business entrepreneur before I'm anything else, and many of you are. I know quite a few of you. I care about the small business. The fact that on Black Friday, Shopify's small merchants, our small businesses that operate stores on our platform, were able to beat out the likes of Best Buy, Target, and Walmart is cool. It really is. The fact that Shopify's platform was the third most popular platform in North America for Black Friday and Cyber Monday is really amazing. And the reason that we can compete as small businesses with these behemoths, even though they have massive economies of scale that we will never, ever have, is because technology gives us these amazing tools. Social media is free. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It matters how much creativity you have. It doesn't make a difference. Building a community is not expensive. You just have to be creative. We are changing things, and we are making it much more difficult for these behemoth, hegemonic corporations to compete with us in a retail model. Which means that as a consumer of cool stuff, it's very exciting. I don't have to go through 3 different intermediaries to buy a pair of glasses. I can go directly to the manufacturer, Warby Parker. I can do the same thing with razors. I can do the same thing with shoes. I can do the same thing with t-shirts. I can go directly to the person that created the actual item. I can give all the money to them, and they give me a better experience and a better price.